There are nights that arrive like an edit in slow motion. A single clip that makes everyone replay what they thought they already knew.
When your two stars are sidelined, obviously players have to step it up. And not just one or two. Everybody has to do just a little more, starting with Austin Reaves.
Picture the final minute in Sacramento. The crowd alive but unsure, the scoreboard narrow, and Austin Reaves moving through the chaos with the kind of calm that looks like film study made flesh.
Got it! Yes, sir, Austin Reaves.
By the time the horn sounded that night, he had 51 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. He'd shot 12 for 22 from the field and 21 for 22 from the line. And the box score read like an argument the league could no longer ignore.
All right, so the other Lakers since the year 2000 to score 50 points, it's Kobe, it's Shaq, it's LeBron, and it's AD. Having your name with that kind of a list, you're a kid from Arkansas, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't deserve all that, but...
That performance, precise, relentless, surgical at the line, became the shorthand for a larger truth. An undrafted kid who had been building credibility in quiet increments suddenly owned a week the way men sometimes own a century. The clips looped, the podcasts argued, and every coach who had once listed him as role player in a scout's notebook had to redraw the perimeter. Rewind further, and the image changes from arena lights to empty gym floors and late-night repetition. Austin Tyler Reaves grew up in Newark, Arkansas, where the drills are repeated until the motion becomes grammar. He started at Wichita State, then transferred to Oklahoma, and his college career was not a headline factory. It was a process: steady shooting, improving reads, quiet floor IQ. When draft night came in 2021, the league skipped him. Undrafted is not a verdict so much as a different contract with the sport. Fewer guarantees, constant auditions, and a professional life where every minute can be a job interview. He signed a two-way with the Lakers, turned it into a standard deal, and the early months were the classic accumulation of trust. Reliable catch-and-shoot arcs, low turnovers, a readiness to move without spotlight. Those small deposits are the currency of players who last. That backstory matters because it rewrites how the big nights look. The 51-point masterpiece does not arrive out of nowhere. It is the visible summit of thousands of repetitions, foot placement on a step back, the repeatable arc of a pull-up, the free throw routine practiced under fatigue. The league notices a single explosion. Coaches notice the distribution of explosions across a season. In 2024 to 25, Reaves began to populate the explosion column more often. Multiple 30-plus games, nights when he carried offensive load because stars were out or the matchup required creation. Those months turned the interesting bench piece tag into a new question in scout rooms. Can this player sustain high volume efficiency? The question matters in a different register when it is not a single box score being discussed, but a pattern of production the opposition must now plan for. The mechanics that let him scale are subtle. He is not a pure first-step blow-by. He is a rhythm manipulator. His greatest skill is the small, repeatable movement that creates separation. The toe point on a step back, the shoulder dip that invites contact, the gliding float to the free throw line when a defense collapses. He hits rhythm threes with a release quick enough to punish late closeouts. He can probe and finish with a soft touch in traffic. And his passing on high usage nights shows the creative gravity of a player opponents must account for. Importantly, his free throw routine has become a late game machine. Where others wobble, he has been almost clinical, and that late game steadiness is what turns volume into credibility. When a player can combine catch-and-shoot accuracy, dependable mid-range mechanics, the capacity to draw fouls, and an ability to find teammates when doubled, the offense stops being zero-sum. It becomes generative. It creates open threes and higher percentage finishes for everyone else on the floor. There are nights that do the heavy lifting of narrative because they are compressed evidence. On February 8, 2025, with the Lakers missing key figures, Reaves poured in 45 points with 7 rebounds and 7 assists to beat the Indiana Pacers 124 to 117. It was the kind of carry where the box score matches the tape. Late game free throws, attacking mismatches off screens, and composed shot selection under duress. That February night moved internal league perception. It was the first time many coaches and GMs shifted him from useful role player to possible primary option under certain conditions. The tape from that game, the way defenses adjusted, and he still found cleanliness, became a new file in scouts' libraries. The real inflection arrived in October 2025, compressed into 3 electric nights. First, the career-high 51 in Sacramento on October 26th, a game where the free throws at the end were not accidental, but the distilled result of disciplined repetition. 21 of 22 at the line, 11 rebounds and 9 assists, and a late stretch of free throws that turned a tight game into a sealed narrative. Then, less than 24 hours later, a 41-point follow-up in Portland that proved the first night was not fluke. Back-to-back 40-plus outputs are the kind of statistical pattern that forces the league to update.
Down the middle he goes, stops, looks, under, count it, goes!
Finally, 3 days after the 51, the Minnesota game ended with a cold floater at the buzzer.
Reaves splits the defense, the floater in the paint, it's good!
A single frame, ball leaving Reaves' hand as the horn fades, and that turned a cluster of box scores into a cultural image. 3 narrative engines collided: the undrafted underdog, the efficiency of the career night, and the clutch cinematic close. Clips multiplied, the story spread. Compare those bursts to the established arcs of other names to understand why they cut deeper. Kobe Bryant's mythology was built on shot-making and will. Kobe sought tough shots and often turned them into legacy. His mid-range craft, footwork, and the Mamba will made him the template for a certain scorer's mentality. When viewers watch Reaves hit a buzzer floater or finish 21 for 22 at the line, they mirror those Kobe comparisons because both conjure the nerve to take and make. LeBron James rewrites value by melding scoring, elite playmaking, and physical dominance across 2 decades. The question when anyone explodes on a short run is whether the player can combine scoring with the playmaking and elite team win translation that LeBron's resume defines. Luka Doncic's moments are different still. He is a culture unto himself, a primary creator who forces defenses into constant recalibration by blending step-back threes with playmaking and draw and kick gravity. Reaves' emergence invites these comparisons not because he is the copy of any of them, but because the league uses familiar reference points to understand new phenomena. Is he more Kobe in shot-making, more Luka in creation? Or does his path better mirror the role expansions we once saw from guys like Manu Ginobili or Jamal Crawford, players who found supernova nights before settling into long, high-value rotations? The right answer is nuance. Reaves contains elements of each template but must stitch them together for sustained greatness. Those stitches are made in practices, medical rooms, and organizational choices. This is where the organizational arc matters. The Lakers in recent seasons have been a portrait of team construction in flux: star windows, coaching changes, and roster adjustments. Coaching shifts, the firing and hiring cycles around the franchise, affect how emergent scorers are used. When a team changes coaches, systems shift. Pick-and-roll priority, late clock design, and defensive responsibility are all reframed. The Lakers' coaching headlines over the last seasons, moves that included firings and new hires, are the background against which Reaves' minutes and role expanded. The franchise's choices about whether to shelter him with perimeter defenders or to fire him out as a primary option will determine if the October surge is a permanent reclassification or a memorable week. That management calculus is practical. Add switchable wings, find rim protection that allows guards to survive defensive gambits, and structure minutes to preserve young legs under new usage demands. Opponents began to draw up specific counters almost immediately after the October cluster. Some coaches will intentionally concede the mid-range step-backs and chase him off the line, daring other Lakers to beat them from distance. Others will front him and force lob attempts, betting that his finishing at the rim will be less efficient against larger defenders. The choice of counter reveals the opponent's view of the risk. If you double off him early, his assist numbers are the danger. If you sag and contest, his mid-range will punish. The sophistication of these counters, pack the paint, switchable lineups, trap and rotate, mirror the chess the league plays at the highest level. Reaves' growth will be measured by the answers he gives to those counters: better reads on doubles, quicker kickouts, improved on-ball defense to shorten opponents' possessions, and the stamina to remain efficient when teams load up to stop him. Comparisons with contemporaries sharpen the frame. Against Luka's gravity, Reaves must show he can still be generative rather than reactive. Luka's blend of elite creation and volume is the modern aspirational model for a primary wing creator. Against LeBron's impact metric, the sheer number of points, rebounds, and assists that change team tempo, Reaves' pathway will likely be smaller in cumulative raw numbers, but could be similar in moments of decisive influence. The buzzer beater, the game-carrying night, the playoff series where one player's output tilts the ledger. Kobe's ghost lingers in how fans react to clutch shots and shot-making flourish. When Reaves hits a floater at the horn, the micro-references to Kobe's fearless late-game tendencies appear in comment feeds. Those are cultural echoes more than technical equivalences, but they matter because narratives are formed by association as much as by isolated acts. There are also the smaller technical edges that tell coaches and analytics teams what to do. Look at Reaves' shot profile in the 51-point game. High efficiency on free throws, excellent finishing at the rim when he attacked, effective mid-range off the step back. Those are signs that, under heavy usage, his true shooting can hold when the rest of the lineups are organized to punish overhelp. Conversely, his defensive metrics still register places to improve. Lateral quickness on switches, the ability to close out on NBA-tier wings who can attack the rim, and the discipline to avoid gambling for steals that blow rotations. Teams that want to maximize a player like him build the scaffolding first. Elite perimeter spacing to punish doubles, switchable wings who can disguise help, and a rim protector who commands gravity so guards can gamble less on help. The human layer is vital and often overlooked in highlight-driven cycles. Undrafted players remember the omissions. That memory is a steady fuel for extra lifts and extra film sessions. Reaves' teammates sense that hunger. They see how he approaches games and practice. The extra free throw reps, the willingness to cut when the defense overcommits, the quiet accountability after a defensive lapse. That internal currency, respect from peers and coaches, is the soft armor that helps a streak survive the inevitable media scrutiny. When the noise spikes, disciplined players fall back on process. The ones who chase hype often find it brittle. The Lakers' locker room reaction after the October stretch, public praise but private evaluation, is exactly the calibration a franchise needs to move from "that player had a week" to "that player is part of our plan." There will be skeptics, and skepticism matters because it forces better answers. Some will point to the small sample of the October fireworks and predict regression. Statistically, short windows often revert, defenses adjust, fatigue accumulates. Those are legitimate concerns. The correct counter to skepticism is not bravado, but evidence. Repeat the efficient nights under changing defensive schemes, stabilize assist to turnover ratios when usage rises, and produce playoff minutes that look like the regular season tape under pressure. That is a long test. The real D-Day is March through May. If the numbers hold under playoff pressure, the narrative shifts from hot streak to reclassification. There are historic templates that help judge this transition. Think of players who exploded into public view with a week and then settled into durable production. John Starks or Jamal Crawford type players who had iconic bursts and long careers, versus those whose surges became pillars of their identity. Think of how Klay Thompson's shooting nights became part of a championship DNA. The difference was organizational commitment and roster fit. Reaves' future will be decided by whether the Lakers treat him as a package piece to be sheltered and amplified, or as a temporary fireworks show to be monetized then replaced. Finally, the cultural effect of these moments cannot be ignored. The Lakers are a global brand. When a Laker ascends, the ripple is bigger. Merch sells, viewership spikes, and the narrative economy around the franchise shifts. That attention can be leveraged wisely to attract role players, to raise the team's profile in trades, and to buy patience while constructing a roster that can hide defensive flaws. Or it can be a trap if the franchise chases immediate returns and overloads a newly elevated player with minutes and usage that the body and system cannot sustain. So return to the first image. A quiet breath at the line, a practiced arc, a sound that is both small and decisive. Austin Reaves' October sequence, the 51, the 41, the buzzer floater, is not an endpoint. It is a hinge. It asks a handful of clear, hard questions. Can the shot-making remain efficient under targeted defense? Will the Lakers surround him with the wings and protection needed to maximize his scoring gravity? Can he improve defensively to translate regular season bursts into playoff reliability? Over the next months, those questions will be answered one possession at a time as opponents design counters, as lineups shift, and as the league reorders priorities. For now, on film and in the feeds, he has given the NBA a new problem to solve. And when a team becomes a problem, everyone wants to solve it, because solving it often means winning.